When was the last time you touched a Python? Not that one, this one. If answer is yes, then you must know this concept. You have 5 seconds, take your time. If answer is no, then this video is for you, and if answer is you got it, so also this video is for you. And I'm an engineering student right now, and last time I used Python in late 2024, and I left it for a while. I was revising it recently. I thought why not to share it with you. On the way, I will share some language independent programming knowledge. So let's get started. So, okay, let's start with a short chapter like get started. So, to get Python installed, go to the python.org website and download Python for your system. And secondly, you to work with Python, you need a software that called IDE. So, go to the visualstudio.com and whatever the site, grab the Visual Studio by clicking on the link or maybe the button. So after the two things install, you can work with a Python. That's are the software requirement for the Python. And let's get into the some theory. So for the most simple thing is like the print colons. So this is a function that the most basic function, like for printing anything on the terminal we use print and then colons, and inside that in the this syntax, what you mean by the syntax is like some specific way you write something. So that is the syntax, that is the procedure that language has defined by itself. So this is the most simple syntax you write. So let's that's are the some common things that we need. And the second most thing is that indentations matter, not like the C. Like it's not like the C that it's use curly brackets. So it's not, don't use curly brackets. Actually the Python use the spaces or indentations like that. This is the indentation. So what is mean by the indentations? Like the it mean like this code is inside this code. That is especially more the space, the inner the layer it is. So it's like that. And the third concept we should look is like comments, single line comment and multi-line comments. Comments are the parts of program that's never run, but that's are very important. Like they define what are the program for, what actually program do. And most of the time they work as a documentations and hint for our reference. They can be used like two-way in Python. Like for a single line comment, very quick, you can use star at any place, and the whole line will be considered as a single line comment. So anything in that line will not execute. For the multi-line comment, that mostly used to put a license in top of your program, or maybe you want to write a long description, you can use 3 colons at the top and bottom. In Visual Studio Code, like you have intelligence, so it detects, so it's make work easy. So you here you can see one and second line I write it, and it's getting it as a comment. And we have already seen the this syntax. And so what is this syntax, why we write some name colons, and that is considered as a function. So many of language have some built-in tools, basic tools that require to work with, like some function to take input, some function to give output. So in the same way Python uses print and print functions, that is a standalone built-in functions, and input is also functions of Python. So most common way to call any function or use any function, if you know, so it is like you write the name of function, and if you want to pass something to it, you put there. So that is for the get started, and let's go deep dive. So in this part we will talk about data types and variables. What are they? So let's start. Let's suppose you write it some program that's run on a computer. What if you strip down to the basics, what it will do? So what it will do, it will take some input. What will be the input? Input will be a data or any type of data, and it will spit out some data. as an output. So if we want to perform some manipulation with data, so we need to store it somewhere, maybe temporarily or persistent. So storing the data, that's where it's the concept of variable was introduced. In Python, we can store or make a data variable using this syntax. There is a name of variable, then we put equal, that is work as a assign operators. Later on we will discuss it. And whatever the data we put there, so what it means, the whatever data will go assigned to this name. Whenever in program we will use variables name, the data will use, or that can be used. So that's is the for the data. So that is the variable. So let's on the type of data it is stored, a variable can be same type. If a variable is stored the integer type of data, it is a integer variable called. So that's how things work. So later on let's classify the data type. Let's talk deeper. So it is the data types. If we classify on the nature, like first one is name, as the name suggests, something related to name. Sets from, if you remember the set from mathematics. Sequence means arrangements of object or anything. Mapping is like we mapped A to B or something like that. So first of all, in the category of numerics we have integer, floats yani ki a number with decimal places. A complex number is like it's same as the complex number from mathematics. Many terms come from mathematics or derived from the mathematics, like set. Sets in Python is similar ways to the mathematics. Whatever the operation you can do sets on the mathematics, you use set here to perform the similar kind of operation, like union or maybe and operation kind of. And we will deep dive on the each type of data on the later part of the video. On the sequence side, the first most one of the used after the integer or the string is most one of the used data types. So why we call the string as a sequence? Because if you say the hello, what it is a sequence of characters. H is a character, and after that E, L and O, that is a sequence arrangement. The same way a list is also a sequence of unordered, maybe on order or unorder. It is a sequence. Tuple is immutable version of list. The range we use range in like iteration for loop. We use range in for loop. For right now, forget about the range. Let's come to the mapping data types. In the mapping data type we have dictionary, the only one for the right now. So what happened here, the dictionary store the object variables in a very different way. It store data in key value pairs. Like you can suppose you have some person's name and you want to assign that person a number or maybe a id. You will use dictionary and you will say that person 1 is assigned a number, maybe a integer 71. So that's how it is a key and it is a value. That's how key value pair work. And other than that, that is numerical set and sequence and mapping. These are the four main types of data types. But other than that also are there some, like none we use. If we don't want to define any type for right now, we use none. Any variable can be none. If you want boolean, it is also very used. True and false, like true and false we use to define the condition. If this condition is true, run that. If this condition false, run that. And binary. So what happened in the binary, for right now just understand, this is also a type of data. When we want to store like sequence of binaries like 0 to 25, if you want to store hello but in binary type, binary data type. So if you want to write the hello in binary data type, So syntax is like that. You will write a string in hello and then add a b in front of that, and or maybe you can use bytes, one of the methods, bytes, and then the each letter or each character is assigned a number in programming world. So you can use that number, that is called ASCII code. So you can use that code to store the hello in a binary system. And then after that, here is a little concept of typecasting. So consider a scenario. You want you take like a string as a input from user, but your operations needed integer. You take in a string, but your operation needed a integer, maybe some for the calculation, like input in the I have in previous part talked about the input function that you can use to take input from user, that always give a return type as a string, but you need an integer. What you will do, there's the concept of typecasting comes. Like, what is the casting? You made something. So what is the typecasting? You change the type of one variable to another variable. Consider you have a variable integer, you want to change the into the string. You have a float, you don't want to points, you don't want decimal, you want simple integer. You can switch that using the typecasting. If you see the syntax of typecasting, you most simple, like you just have to do the whatever the variable you have to add the parenthesis and the new data type you want to, like new data type, like it is a string and you want to change it into the integer. You just add a integer in front of parenthesis, outside the parenthesis, and it converted into the integer. Consider 5 is a integer and you want to switch it to the float or change it to the float data type. You will just write float above in front of that. Or consider 100, that is the integer data type, but you want to switch it to the string. So you will add parentheses and write a string in front of that. It will convert that into the string data type. You and at the last, if you want to summarize, so here is the some property that is very important. And for the numerics, we have three data types: integer, float, and complex, that are immutable by nature. Immutable mean you can't change it. Once it's made, you can't update it, delete it, or edit it. Where the list is mutable, and the tuple, list and tuple are same, but you can say the tuple is immutable version of list. So that's how string is also a sequence that is immutable, but you can do certain operations with strings. Dictionary is mutable, you can change it. Sets are mutable and immutable. Actually the frozen set is immutable, the traditional set, the this one is sorry, this one is immutable, this is mutable, sorry. So it is mutable. Oh, I'm confusing. Wait a second. Okay, okay, sorry for the confusion. So what I was saying is, like, if we think the set, this one is immutable, where the frozen set is mutable version of set. Here you can change things. In frozen set you can change things, but you can't do same way in set. Let's move on to the next part. In this part, we will deep dive into the four main data types of Python. So let's start. First, we have list. Let me zoom it in a frame. So what is the feature of list? They are mutable, ordered, and allow duplicates. That is the feature. That's on the other end. There is some methods we can perform with list. If you create a list, you can use dot append method and put a value in it, and it will add that value into the end. Or you can use extend to merge two lists together. So you have a one list you created somewhere and you want to add merge to list, and then we have insert, in which we pass the index and the value. Index and the value we want to add to a specific index. What it do is add the item into specific position. उसके बाद है, after that we have pop index. It's remove and return an item. Default is last. So what is do, it's remove a item on the specific index, and if you don't give it the index, it will remove the most last item of the list. And after that we have dot sort. It sort an integer list into ascending or descending order, depends what you put in there. If you put true in there, maybe you can put true or false in there, and it will do accordingly. You can search it for the. And after that, in the sequential way, it is a mapping data type. So let's move on to string first. So string is also a sequential data type, uh, uh most likely to the list, but there is some difference. Like it is immutable. Like once it's changed, once it's created, you can't change the base. Like, and it's ordered sequence of character. Like what is the a string? It is the order sequence of a character. So order matters. What you can do with it, it is only the most used functions of. There is many functions linked to the strings. You can use it. Like most common are dot upper, dot lower. What is do? Consider you have a string that has like some uppercase letter and some smaller case letters, but you want to change all of them into lowercase or maybe uppercase. So you can use that method to perform that. Also, if you want to remove the white spaces, so you can use dot strip method, and it's return a list of words and spaces are split. So, and also the strip method is used to strip only white spaces, left or right, whatever you can specify. Dot split, what it's used to break the whole string into a list of separated word. एक list बने, one list separated word. Then after that we have join, which join a list into a single string. Consider you want to take some words from user that will store in a list, and after that you will convert that list into a whole sentence. So you can use something like don't joined, and after that we have dot find that return the index of a substring. Like you have a whole string and you will pass that, it will search that, and most probably the first letter, it will give the index of first letter. So that is for the string. And for the integer, we know all the integer, what can we do? So for the simply, if you create a variable like a variable name, and you can simply put anything like 1 2 or maybe. So there is not much. The only immutable support is standard arithmetic, plus minus and multiplication. There are some specific way to represent the integer, like apps. You can put apps, so absolute, and also the round. So what it do, it take number x and round off till the nth digit. Consider you have a number something 0.5, so it used to round off representation. And also the power, you can represent the power using po, something like that. And these are the method. And after that we have several leftover method. Like let me zoom it. We have sets similar to the arithmetic sets. They are mutable and unordered. Like list is, like string is ordered list, but they are unordered, no duplicate allowed. So all elements should be unique. Dot add method, unique element, to add unique element, dot union, and in that you will input the other set you want to union with. So what union do, it's combine the set. Intersection, what it do, it find the difference between the like common element, it return you the common element. Here the function that I'm talking about, it's dot difference. What you do, it will compare to sets and element is a set A but not in set B. So after that is a tuple. Features. What is a tuple? Tuple is actually a list, but the only difference is it is immutable, unlike the list what is mutable, and they are ordered and in okay, sorry, and faster than list because it is immutable, and there are some methods. And what can you do is dot count method is famous with tuple and how many times a value appears. So it is, since it is a dot count method, so it must not contain unique values. So if the unique value, there must be one. If you use dot count and the list contain or tuple contain unique value, so there always returns one, so no makes sense to use count. So and after that also the dot index that is same from the list, we have token that give you the index of a value, finding the value inside the list. If you see the list, that is more of the similar kind of list and tuple are related, just are like you can see that there's some method is literally. And not but the least, we have the only mapping data type that use mapping: mutable, key value pair stores, and unique pairs. Unique key, sorry, key must be unique. You can repeat the value. Key must be unique and they store in key value pairs. So what can we do? Using dot key and dot value, you can return either value or key. Dot item, what it do? It's return the tuples that contain this key is assigned to this value. So if you want to print the whole dictionary after some operation, you can use dot item. It will return key value pair in tuple format. Later we discuss the tuple format. Tuple is similar like a set, just it is a immutable version of what is the immutable, so you can't change things in tuples. What after that we have get method. Okay, let me assume. So what have we have? Dot get. What it take key as a and key and a default safety fetch of value without crashing if the value is missing. Okay, so you can get the value by passing key inside get. And what update do? It's update a value at a specific key, or maybe you can add a total like new element, or mostly used for the multiple entry, like you have 4 or 3 key value pairs you want to add in a existing dictionary. So that's how dictionary work, and it is just like we are touching the surface, not very deep. And if we talk little bit more about the syntax, so we have taken list is order, mutable, and duplicacy is allowed, and syntax we use square bracket. Tuple is brother of list, which is order but not mutable. It is good for data security, and it's like data, it prevent the overriding of data because it's immutable. Duplicacy is allowed and chooses the parenthesis where the set is no order. Mutable, yes, it is mutable. Duplicates, yes, no, sorry, duplicates are not allowed in set. And what is you? It's use curly bracket. Where the dictionary, yes, it is ordered about. If you using the Python version 3.7 or greater than that, list is considered order there. The current version of Python is going on is like 13 or maybe 14. I think 14 is the latest version of Python. So you can consider the dictionary is now ordered. And what about the mutable? Yes, it is mutable. Duplicates, you can duplicate the pay like key and value. You can duplicate the value, but no duplicacy allowed in keys. Keys should not be duplicate. And what is the let me open the what is dictionary look like, how you write a dictionary. Consider you make a variable named dictionary and you assign it. So what you do, use curly bracket, then write the key and use the what's and the value. That's how the key value pairs work. So this is for the this part, and please like and share, subscribe, and whatever you likes, and don't forget to put any comment on negative or positive whatever. And the second part will be uploaded soon. I'm working on it. So thank you guys for watching. If you're still there watching this video,